Welcome to Night Light. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Night Light, a reminder that you are never alone.
Hey everyone, welcome to Night Light, the free reading show. This is a great time for it because this is a full moon, I've been told. So all of the special energies are out there blending in with ours. So it's a good time to get a reading if you're interested in getting one. If you're listening on either Facebook or YouTube and you want to get a free reading, just put it into the comment section in cap letters and Gregg will be able to pull you from the crowd, so to speak, and let me know. And that way we can get as many of you in as is possible. It's been a very exciting time for us. We've been working with the app for the Cosmic Deck, and we finally were able to get the free apps out to the two people that had requested them. And if anyone was interested in getting a free app to the Cosmic Deck, all you need to do is to go onto the website to Barbara and sign up for the circle. And there's a comment section there where you can ask for the free app, and we'll send you the link to pick one up. The app is fun. It's a lot of fun. It has me reading the meaning of all the cards for you. It's a really cool thing. I have to admit, I've used it a lot more than I thought I would myself. So, and I'm the one that wrote it. So I think Gregg uses it too from time to time. We are definitely raring to go. I keep getting. Gregg convinced me to get lights on me so I would come up brighter. But the only problem is I need sunglasses to be able to see what the computer is saying. So I rely upon him to tell me what's coming over the waves here. But I'm looking forward to doing readings for you. We have a couple of people here already that have made their wishes known. So Gregg, who's first?
All right, we have Jody Lynn, Cosmic Art. And she says, hi, everyone. Would love one of your amazing readings, Barbara. Exclamation point.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Okay, I've got, and I'm using the old deck, which I shouldn't admit to, but it's easier for me. They're bigger and they're rounder. But you can't buy them anymore. So the new deck is hexagon shaped, very pretty, and is a delightful deck to use. It's just that I've been using this deck for 30 years, and it's hard for me to break into a different even shape. Okay, Jody, this is an amazing time for you this next year, and I would say that you're beginning to feel that you're beginning to feel this element of excitement here, because it does feel as though there's a lot of new stuff coming into you. You have the element of a guardian angel card in the very center, which indicates that no matter what you do, there is going to be extra spiritual guidance to everything that you sort of step into. July is a time where you're setting yourself free, you're moving in new directions, and it does feel as though, you're not going to be, putting on white robes and starting to chant 24 hours a day. It feels as though the element of spirituality is going to be entering into everything that you do and everything that you are. And I think that you're going to find that while you're not going to become obnoxious about your spirituality, it's going to influence and be a part of everything that goes on from this moment forward. As we move into August, there's the element of body, mind, spirit coming together here. And it does feel as though you are beginning to pull things together, to knit things together so that you have a very solidified base from which you're going to be functioning. And that means there's a lot of excitement here for you. And it does mean that a lot of things are going to happen a lot faster than you anticipate because you've taken the time to cross your T's and dot your I's, and you've tied up your loose ends. It's interesting with the tying up of loose ends, you've let go of a lot of stuff that you really didn't need to be hanging on to. And it does feel as though because of that, there's a greater sense of freedom here and things are moving far, far better for you than ever before. You're going to hit September where the element of free will comes in. That indicates that you have the freedom to move in new directions. And you may be thinking about moving in new directions. I'd wait till September because in September it feels as though there's a new surge of energy. You're definitely getting downloads from the universe so that there's the element of new spirituality here, and it's leading you in new directions. So pay attention to those synchronicities and those hints that you're getting from the universe because they are definitely coming from the spirit that you carry within. October has evolving into new levels of understanding of yourself and the directions that you're going. Please wait for the hints to come. I speak from experience on this one. Wait for the call to come. Wait for the door to be open. Wait for a pathway to open for you instead of trying to assume what the universe is trying to tell you and barging ahead. That doesn't work. I've tried it. All you get are headaches, wrong turns. And if you're as foolish as I was, spending money in directions you don't need to spend money. So listen for the hints and flow with them. As you hit the November timeframe, there's laughter, joy, and celebration here. It feels as though there's a joy that's connected to a lot of the things that you're doing that you hadn't noticed before. There's magic all around you, and you hit the December timeframe where the spotlight falls on you. This is a time frame where people are paying attention to what you're saying. So pay attention to what you're saying as well. Oftentimes we tend to babble, and that's not a good idea. And especially as you hit the December timeframe, be careful about what you say and how you say it, because your words are going to be heard by many, and it's going to affect many. And the more positive you are, the more wise you're going to seem and will be, actually. As you hit the January timeframe, there are two different directions here. It does feel as though there are two people in your life that are helping you and moving you in new directions, not at the same time or in the same direction, so that you have this element of having two fronts you're looking at, and it feels as though you're handling it beautifully. As you hit the February timeframe, here's where you're bringing in a lot of the tools that you've had and developed but not utilized before, and it feels as though those tools are being brought into use here. It feels as though it's a time where you're finding that you have wisdom that you didn't know you had, which is really cool. And it feels as though this is a time where you feel that you are moving into a new level of consciousness, of understanding, of spiritual pursuits. As you get into the January, February, March timeframe, there's the element here of abundance coming your way. Doesn't necessarily mean money, but it could mean money. But abundance in many levels is coming your way as in the month of March. So do do make sure that there's the element of gratitude here, because it's not necessarily that all of this abundance is going to be repetitive. But when abundance comes your way, be grateful for it, and make sure you thank people for it, or the universe, whichever has sent it your way. As you hit the April timeframe, there's a sense here of letting go of, you've been carrying some burdens here, and it feels as though the element of forgiveness is here, and this is not of other people, it's of yourself. You're forgiving yourself for carrying burdens you don't need to carry, for feeling guilty about things you don't need to feel guilty about. I mean, if you've robbed a bank, you're certainly guilty, but that's what I'm seeing here is pettiness. And it's almost as though you have not allowed yourself to grasp and embrace the richness that is inside of you as you hit the April timeframe. New foundations, new beginnings, fresh starts, new people coming into your life. And the foundation is laid in the month of May. You may not see it physically, but by the time you get to June, you have your foundations laid. There's new beginnings. There's new directions. You're definitely going in new directions towards new goals that you hadn't anticipated before, but sort of have been afraid to wish for. It's okay to wish. It's okay to dream. And the more you dream and the greater you ask for of yourself, the more you're going to find is brought to you. Okay? Hopefully that helps. It's a cool reading to get it. Guardian angel in the middle. That's not bad. It means having a guardian angel in the middle, by the way, means that you've achieved something on a spiritual level that many people strive for and never achieve. So whether or not you were doing work consciously, unconsciously, you have achieved something really quite profound. So hang in there and enjoy what's coming, because it looks like it's a blissful year. You're going to work, but it's going to be one that you are able to achieve a lot more than you anticipate. Okay, Greg.
Okay. Next up, we have Sky, and she's coming in from YouTube. She says, "Hi, Barbara. Just checking in to say hello, and any message would be amazing." Double exclamation and a swooping star.
Wow. Okay, Sky. It's kind of hard to know whether to hop in or to just give you random things. I'm going to hop in. You're at a time and place where you are becoming more and more grown up spiritually. You've played with spirituality, and it does feel as though you're beginning to take it very seriously, work with it, and apply it in directions that you've not applied it in before. Spirituality is something that touches all aspects of our life, and quite often, we don't apply it everywhere, and it feels as though you're at a place in time where you're starting to apply it to every aspect of your life. There's a sense here, especially for this month, that there are many new directions. There are many new elements of your life that you're going to be dipping into, starting to work with new modalities that you have inside of you. I feel strongly that there are aspects of spirituality that you know are in you, but you haven't started to utilize yet. And it does feel as though this is a time when you're going to start to trust a lot of it. You've played with a lot of it. Now you're going to start trusting it. And as you trust it, as you use it more and more and more, and I'm talking about things like your clairs, your sentient and audient, and all of the different clairs. It does feel as though you're beginning to understand that you have amazing intuition inside of you, and it comes in many different shapes and forms. So please start playing with them to a greater degree. August is a time where you're evolving into new understanding of the power that you actually have inside of you. You're not going to short buildings at a single bound or anything like that. But you have the power to utilize your gifts in new and different, unusual ways. I'm not saying set up a roadside stand, but I am saying start to journal, start to write, start to pay attention to the messages that you're getting, because they're profound. They're very profound, and they don't necessarily always apply to just you. If you're getting messages for other people, be very careful as to how you give them. Make sure that you only give messages in a positive way, because anytime someone gives a message of any sort, shape, or form, the person listening is going to put great credence into it. And make sure that even if you see something that feels to you negative, sit with it until you can spin it positively and then give it, because your voice will carry a great deal of weight, and you want to make sure that what you're sharing is of a positive nature so someone can take it, use it, and grow from it. As you hit the September timeframe, there's freedom here. You're setting yourself free. You're allowing yourself to move in new directions. And that brings you to October, where there is laughter, joy, and celebration. So there's a sense here of breaking away from old patterns, allowing new patterns to flow to you, embracing them, and enjoying the light that is flowing in your direction. November has abundance coming your way. It feels as though this has to do with work and how you're putting yourself out there. You may find yourself in a new area of work than you have been in now, than you are in now. It feels as though there's new abundance here. There's freshness. It feels as though there's a new level that you're reaching for and you achieve. And do understand that every time you reach a new level, there's always another level to reach for. So don't get too satisfied and stable within the level you're in. Allow yourself to dream and reach for goals that are a little bit more above where you are. December has home being a focus, and it does feel as though home is something that is going to be very special for you. It feels like there are going to be gatherings that you don't anticipate, but are going to be very joyful. You're going to find friends coming back into your circle, so to speak, and you're going to find that you are gathering new people around you that will take you in new directions. I'm not suggesting you join groups. Groups can be dangerous, but find areas that you want to expand yourself into, to grow into, and as you do that, you come into the January timeframe where body, mind, and spirit is pulled together, and you have many new directions you're moving in. You're going to find you have talent and skills that are really above your anticipation, and having skills is a great thing, provided you grow with them and let them boost you to the next level. As you come into the February timeframe, there's new beginnings here. There's fresh starts. Some of this has to do with relationships with other people too, so that old relationships may go into a renewal of some sort, and there are new relationships coming into you. So that while you've been rather selective and held things kind of close to your vest for quite a while, it feels as though you're loosening the vest, so to speak, and those people that are around you are going to grow, and you're going to find that they have new information and talents that they can share with you as well. As you get into March, there's a sense here of free will is here, and you're going to be able to make some choices. Do understand that free will, you're free to make a choice, but you are going to have to pay the consequences of whatever that choice is. So long as you understand that, let it rip. But I would caution you to not be too random with this, to be very select as to where you take the freedom that you have with free will. You have in the past made hasty choices, and this is not a time for a hasty choice. So if you're going to make choices, sit with them a little bit, journal with them a little bit, and then go for it. understanding that whatever comes with the choice is something that you have to deal with as well. As you hit the April time frame, there's a sense here of letting go of a lot of, it's a declutter time. It's a time of decluttering, not only your home, but internally as well. It feels as though you have some anger or dissatisfaction with some things that happened a long time ago. Let go of the stuff. It doesn't mean, it doesn't help you to carry hurt or anger that it's over and done with, and there's nothing you can say or do about it. So let go of things that no longer carry any relevance to you or your journey forward. And as you come into the May time frame, new foundations, new directions, maybe even a new home. There may be a move here. And then as you hit June, you have the element here of feeling that spiritual guidance you've been looking for. They're not going to sit down and have tea with you, but you're going to know that there is an angelic feeling, a spiritual feeling of help there that comes from the other side. And it's not going to be a relative or anything like that. It's an energy that is of a very loving and positive nature that will help you to find new directions to move in. And it feels as though it's going to be a time in which you're going to feel very guided, and it will be there. Journaling, great idea. Journal, because when you're writing, that's when the spirit inside of you has the ability to flow information to you so that you can have a greater sense of understanding of what's going on. Okay. That's it. There's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot of magic here. It's kind of exciting. It's always, I've found, a very exciting time to do these readings because only people with positive things seem to call in and ask for readings. At least that's what I've experienced so far. I'll let you know if it keeps on. Okay, Mark is here. I saw him scroll past.
He is. We welcomed him. Before I get to the next requester, Jody gave some feedback. She said, "That was amazing, Barbara. Thank you." And then lastly, "Love it. God bless." So,
oh, wow.
That was nice.
Well, the cool thing is that we seem to only attract very nice, wonderful people. Yes. You know, I've never, so far, I have learned to never say never. But to this point in time, I've always found that the people that call into the show are so spiritual. It's such a pleasure to do the readings for them because they're fun, they're energizing, and you know, I learn something every time I read somebody.
That's great. Well, here we have our next requester. D. Rich said, "Hi, I would love a reading," and also said, "I also love your monthly readings."
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Forecasts, yeah.
Well, for the longest time I did them, and then I thought nobody's reading these things anyhow, and I stopped doing them, and then a number of people, you know, said why, and it was basically because I didn't think anybody was reading them. Boy, was I wrong. So thank you. I appreciate the feedback because the month seems to come around really, really fast. And I'm always complaining to Gregg that, didn't I just do one? Okay, so this is kind of cool. The element of universal truth is here. And that doesn't mean that you know, you're not truthful. But it does mean that there is a greater understanding of the universal truths that are out there, the universal laws, the spiritual energies, all of the wonderful things that make up what we're surrounded with and what we grow with and into. And so it feels to me as though you have this sense of new understanding of what makes the world go round, what makes society work, what really guides us as we move through each lifetime. And lifetime to lifetime, the laws are always the same, whether it's the law of cause and effect or any of those other laws that are out there. The law of continuity, the law of frequency, the law of karma. These are ones that you've actually drawn this time. And it does feel as though truth is really important to you. It's probably one of the most important aspects that you have. And it's what you value the most in relationships and friendships. And in whatever you're doing, you look for the truth, you look for the stability, you look for that light that is within every aspect of life. And when you find the light, that's what guides you. That's what has always guided you. And it's amazing how you have been guided by the truth and the light your entire life, whether or not you were conscious of it, but I think you always have been. The element of July is really quite amazing. You've got magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected. So changes are in the air, lots of shifts and moving around. It's this expecting the unexpected is hard to explain because it's unexpected, but it does feel as though things are going to shift for you. Things are going to change. Where you have felt kind of hitting a brick wall or not moving forward, it's about to change. Everything is about to start moving for you. And while you've complained, it feels a little bit about nothing changing, nothing shifting. It's going to change. The time of you being held in place is done, and there's going to be movement, and you will probably complain that things are coming at you too fast and wish you were back again hitting your head against a brick wall, but that does give you a headache. It does feel as though this wonderful light has motion to it, has energy to it, is flowing, and it's almost as though you're caught up in the current of the light, and it's moving you forward. As we hit August, there's the law of karma, which suggests that you're going to be finding yourself gifted by many people that you don't even know. You're going to find things falling into place. You're going to find things suddenly turning in your direction. I mean, nothing's perfect. Don't expect the lottery. But I wouldn't say don't buy a ticket. But, I never want to, shove that out of the way. But it does feel here as though a lot of this is coming from past lifetimes. So do understand that when good things happen to you, it's because you've earned them. And make sure that you want to be living this lifetime so that you can move it forward. But you are so locked into the truth and the light that it would seem to me that you naturally are doing that anyway. As you move into the September timeframe, there's the element of universal love here, of really beginning to really feel the love of the source of all creation. You're going to be able to feel the element of love flowing through your life in many different aspects. This is not saying it's a single person, because it's not. This is not the kind of energy that comes from a single person. This is a kind of energy that flows through you, around you, and moves you forward. And you're going to feel that love coming from lots of other people, lots of other situations. I'm not saying you won't find a partner or you don't have a partner. Looking at relationship, you probably do. But this is that universal love that is so spectacular, that comes from sunsets and sunrises. It comes from magic in the forest. It comes from those mountaintop experiences you feel when you just know that you're surrounded by love, and you will feel it. You will feel loved. You'll feel that cosmic hug. Actually, I would think you're feeling or will feel the cosmic hug this month as well, for sure this month. As you hit October, there's a sense here of work moving in new directions. And it does feel that you may be a little overwhelmed, but you'll be able to deal with whatever it is. As you move into the November timeframe, you have the golden rule. there's a saying that whatever you put out there returns to you greatly magnified, and it's true. So if in the November timeframe you find yourself feeling generous or wanting to help other people or volunteer your time in places, go for it, because it will only benefit you more greatly, not only in this lifetime, and in lifetimes yet to come. I mean, you don't do it just for the good karma, but it feels to me as though you have that wonderful, amazing spiritual light within you that is so profound, it's unbelievable. As you hit December, it feels like you've committed yourself to a heck of a lot more than you actually physically can do. And yet you do it. It feels as though it's a very, very busy time for you. When I see this card, I tell people, take your vitamins for sure. Make sure you're getting enough rest. December will be very, very busy, but very, very satisfying for you. And it will open doors for you that you don't even expect yet. As you move into the January timeframe, there's the law of continuities here. So you're getting things to all flow a lot better than you have had them flowing in the past. And it's only because you've worked at it. There's a wonderful flow of energy here. You will have the inclination to put your feet up and just coast for a while. I'd be good with a couple of weeks, but after that, you have to get back to work. As you get into the February timeframe, there's universal spirituality here. There's so much light. There's so much spiritual energy here. I don't want you to quit your job, but I want you to think seriously about becoming a spiritual minister / counselor. It's something that it's here in your very energy, and again, don't quit your job, don't quit your day job. But the element of spirituality is so strong here, especially when it comes into relationship, especially when it comes into the growth that you've made spiritually and how you have helped other people. There is a definite element of serving the light in a pastoral way in your spare time that would be profound for you. Boy, there's this it's definitely here. You have had past lifetimes in which you have been a monk, been a priest, been a medicine person for a native tribe. You've been a leader of a spiritual group going back 2,000 years. There's a great deal of spiritual energy here, and it appears that you've placed yourself and you've grown, and the light within you is so profound. And again, don't quit your day job. I mean, I taught school, and I was ordained as a spiritual minister, and there was a time where I did serve in the pulpit, but you don't have to quit your job. But to become a spiritual pastor doesn't mean you serve in a church. It means you serve people in a spiritual way. And there are perks to it. You can walk in any hospital anytime as a minister and go see someone. I've never abused it. I've always been going to see somebody who was in need. But it just feels, and if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. It's just that your energy is that way, and you've had lifetimes in which you've done that. You've been a healer, but mostly of the spirit. So that, do what feels right to you. As you come into the March timeframe, here's where there's the pregnancy card, and the pregnancy card means there's a birth of a new aspect of you, not that you are pregnant or getting pregnant or making somebody pregnant or whatever. But this pregnancy card is really important because you're birthing a new aspect of yourself. And that's really a cool thing. As you move into the April timeframe, there is a healing energy here as though you are finally letting go of a few things that you've been carrying for a very long time. And you finally understand that healing is sometimes letting go, not making something whole, but it's letting something go that could never be whole. As you move into the May timeframe, the element of wisdom is here, of hitting the books again, of you don't have to go back to school, but there's a sense of learning, of stretching yourself, of allowing yourself to flow into new wisdom and understanding. And as you hit June, there's harmony of spirit here. There's creativity and healing energy. There's writing here too. A tremendous amount of writing. If you're not yet published, you will be someday. Hope that helps. Okay.
Okay. That was great. All right. Sky gave us a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
He said, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. And spot on as usual, with love and gratitude. And
wow.
Next up is Maha77. She says, hi, may I have a reading for whatever spirit wants? Thanks.
My favorite kind of reading. If in case most of you have noticed, why if you have a question, I'll answer it, but I'd rather give you what spirit gives me, because that seems to usually be more profound in the long run. I had a husband once who he said to me, he thought I spent too long on readings. And he said, I could do it so much faster. And I said, you're not a reader. He said, I could do it faster than you do it. And I said, okay, so what if somebody says, when am I going to meet, am I going to meet the love of my life this year? What would you say? He said, no. And I said, you don't get to do readings. He said, one word answers should be all you need to give. And I said, no. Then I don't learn. Okay, excuse me. Okay, this next year is a year of abundance. And it looks like it's a very exciting time for you because it's almost like you have your fingers in so many pots, you don't have enough fingers. Oh, that's interesting. Has nothing to do with the reading, but kind of does. I don't know what your genealogy is. But if you take your family tree back thousands of years, you come from the genealogy and the time of giants. And when I said hands, I felt there was an extra digit on both of my hands. And that was one of the signifiers of giants. So, and you have to go back thousands and thousands of years, but you come from that bloodline, genes, whatever you want to call it. They had extra digits, they had extra toes, and they had double rows of teeth. So I'm curious as to if you have extra teeth in your head. Well, you don't have to tell me, but you come from that bloodline. I think you're the first one that comes from the Watcher bloodline that I've ever read. That is so cool. That makes you very special. It's, it's not a negative thing. It's genetic and quite amazing. There is abundance in your life. There is going to be abundance this next 12-month time frame. And you've studied so long that this is a month where I feel you're crossing a threshold of understanding of this and other dimensions, so that your consciousness, the spirit within you, is taking you into other dimensions and other realms. Your dreams must be fascinating. It feels as though crossing this threshold is a level of consciousness. It gives you another layer of consciousness. We have our regular consciousness, which is our personality and our mores for this lifetime. Then we have our higher consciousness, which is the spirit we carry within, and then that links us to the higher consciousness and links us to the creator of all, the source of all creation. And you've hopscotched a level of consciousness inside of you. The portal between the lower and the higher consciousnesses is absolutely free. And your ability to tap into the higher consciousness and the spirit within is profound. You get messages that are profound. You should be writing them down. Not that you're going to turn into Nostradamus or anything like that, but you're getting spiritual understanding and messages for yourself, for your own evolution this lifetime. The threshold card and the crown card are both together, which does indicate that you're intuitively getting a lot of material. You're talking to yourself, and in many cases, you're really talking to yourself. Higher consciousness is definitely there. There is a wonderful flow of energy between higher and lower consciousness. And it does feel as though you may have headaches for a while. And I wouldn't be worried about them unless they go on for a long time and you get worried and then check it out with a doctor. But as all of this new flow of new energy on a spiritual level comes through you, it's going to disrupt a lot of stuff. You may find yourself a little dizzy now and then, you may find headaches, but it will all settle out, especially as you get into the month of September. Here's where you've got body, mind, spirit together, finally in balance. I would say the next 2 months, you're going to be a little bit out of balance. So stay away from heights because they'll make you a little giddy, unless you like being giddy, and then seek out heights. September has this pulling together of all these aspects of you. There's a new you. There's a whole new you here. And it does feel as though as you get into the October timeframe, you've got balancing out of the internal energies, the yin and the yang, getting that balanced out so that there is a wonderful source, a wonderful flow of energy here into November, where you've got laughter, you've got joy, you've got creative energy all over the place here. And it's important for you to be creative. It's very important for you to be creative in any way, shape, or form you want to be. But creativity is crucial to you for your spiritual development and ability to manifest it within your reality. Doesn't mean that you have to be a master of anything. Doesn't mean you have to be good. Just means that you have to enjoy what you're doing. As you hit the December timeframe, here's where new foundations are laid. Here's where a new foundation for the rest of your life is really taking form. I do feel that you're moving into a time of new growth, new understanding, and a new way of addressing your reality. As you hit January, there's a unity of focus here. You're very focused. You understand where you think you're going. You hear that, where you think you're going. One of the hardest things in the spiritual field to do for anybody, I think, is to wait for the call, wait for the opening, wait for something to say, yes, go that way, or no, sit back and meditate or write or do whatever you're supposed to do. I'm 81 years old. I still have trouble with it. I still kind of know what I should be doing and I don't find the time for it. And I get anxious and it's a matter of wait. Waiting is the hardest thing in the world to do for me and for most humans. So it's important for you to wait for the call. And sometimes it'll be a phone call, sometimes it'll be an email, sometimes it'll be a billboard that you just can't miss. But wait for the signs to move in new directions. And while you're waiting, be creative, because without creativity, there's no movement. And for you especially, it's very, 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 very important for you to be creative and take joy from it. And that fuels your spiritual journey, because it's a doozy this lifetime. There's no doubt about it. As you get into February, you're going to feel as though you're going to have that I doubt it. I wonder if, did I make the right choice? Did I? And the answer is absolutely yes, you have. But I can even give you a time frame. You will play I doubt it from the 1st of February to the 10th of February. After the 10th of February, it goes away. And for the rest of the month, you're okay. If at all possible, my advice when this appears is the best thing to do is to stay in bed and pull the covers over your head for 10 days, but not everybody can do that. So don't in the first 10 days of February, don't commit yourself to anything. Sit back and wait. Wait until the 11th and then make your choices and decisions. They'll be far wiser. And, if you want to test me, go ahead and make a decision and see what happens. March has free will. There's the element here of you being able to steer your ship to a certain point. As I've said before, free will always has its consequences. I feel here that you have the freedom to move in directions that you've always dreamed you wanted to, and you've been afraid to. Take baby steps and you can't go wrong. Free will is amazing, and it feels that the light is here so strongly that I don't, so long as you're not making huge decisions, don't quit your day job. It looks fabulous for you. April has spiritual energy here. It feels as though there is a sense of new understanding of a lot of the choices that you've made, the people that you've surrounded yourself with. It feels as though you're seeing things through different eyes, and it feels as though you are also gathering new people around you, new joy, lots of joy here. And as you come into the month of May, here's where I see you going back to school on some spiritual levels. It feels as though there's newness here. There's a great deal of excitement here. I don't see you going back to school, formal school, but I do see you finding new areas you want to educate yourself in and flow through. And as you hit the June timeframe, your focus is on the home, not only the physical house or apartment or wherever you live, but your physical home. Taking care of the physicality is very important. Making sure, I hate this, making sure you drink enough water. The whole year, drink enough water. Being hydrated is really important for you with the changes that are here. So it looks like it's a very exciting time for you. And abundance is all over the place. So no matter what you do, it's almost like you've got a Midas touch. You're going to have to work, but you've got the Midas touch. Okay? Hopefully. I really, if you have extra teeth, I want to know. I've never had anybody that I had the physical feeling of extra digits from. That was cool.
Wow. Okay. That was great. D. Rich gave us some feedback, gave you some feedback. Thank you, Barbara. I am blown away with the information you gave me. I've been told of my past lives as a healer, and I look forward to my continuation and growth. Much love and many blessings to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So next up is, I got to go back here, so just bear with me, is Free to Be Me. And she says, "Hi, Barbara. Do you see any fairies or elementals around?"
Elementals, yeah. Okay. Fairies or elementals. Well, the elemental of water is definitely here. So, and what I'm feeling is I love elementals. They always cause me trouble, but I love elementals. You need to have, I mean, you have the water elemental around you because there's a part of you that is connected very, very strongly to water. Drinking it, being around it, it gives you comfort. It makes you feel better. It's a source of calm. It's a source of meditation for you. But I would make sure faucets are tight and things like that, because water can be can cause a problem for you as far as your house. Elementals they're cool. They will work with you, and then sometimes they they decide to make themselves known in unpleasant ways. Fairies you've got, and all the plants you have around you. You have a lot of fairy elements there. I would say you probably have a fairy ring or two on your property or around you, wherever you are, because for some reason you are drawn to the fairy rings, drawn to the fairy element. More than those two things, though, you are more strongly drawn to, or wait, the energy pulls you more strongly are the devas of the trees, especially old trees, very old trees. The devas of them are more protective of you than you could imagine. So if you have tall trees around you, I'd go out and hug a tree. It's that energy that is more profound around you. I mean, the fairy rings are wonderful, and most people will walk right by them and not notice them, whether they're mushrooms or whether they're rocks. They're circles, and you can feel the energy in them if you don't stand in the middle, but if you stand around them, you can feel the energy flowing to them. Water elementals, they're great. And if you can direct them to a garden, you're fine. But if you don't happen to have a garden or plants that need water, then be very careful that you keep your taps screwed up tight. It feels to me that you've had trouble with water. I mean, nothing of a great magnitude, but trouble with water. And it's the water elementals that they seem to, if they have no outlet, they make one. So I would definitely check out the water stuff. Air, those elementals aren't as prominent around you. Air, earth, fire, and water. The earth element also is something there, because if you have a garden, and I hope you do, then you have the earth and the water elementals made happy. But the trees especially pine. Pine trees for some reason seem older, and if there are pine trees around you, gather the pine cones, because they'd be very, there's something to bring into the house to have that element within the house. Hope that helps. Okay, Greg.
Okay. Maha77 gave us a lot of feedback in 3 parts. First, she said she loves the story of your husband's one-word readings. I do not have extra teeth, but resonate with giants. This reading was absolutely amazing. She went on to say, I've been meditating for 40 years. September is my favorite month where big things always happen. Amazing reading. Thank you so much. This was my first time seeing your channel.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah. Love it. the waiting for the call is 100% accurate as well. Every word was from Spirit. So that is pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have Lynn Leite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her. Actually, that's not the one. She said, she came in first, said, yes, please. She came in again with, I got to find it. We have a full house here tonight, Barbara. We have more people on the waiting list than we did in the first hour. So just give you a heads up.
Well, everybody, please be gentle with Gregg. This is a new occupation for him.
Yeah.
That he never dreamed he'd be doing.
Here's her second one where she said, all caps for this request. Anything, really. There we go.
Just anything, right? Before I do this, I have told all of you that at least I did when we started. It bears repeating. I use the Cosmic Deck of Initiation, which is a deck of cards that I painted. And we have made an app out of it for the telephone. And you can do a reading on the phone. And the cards look beautiful on the phone. And the meaning for every card I've read into the app, so you can hear me without a husky voice because of pollen, telling you what the card means and how it applies to you. And we've able to, we have the app is available. It's available on the website Cosmic Deck of Initiation, but also we have some that we're giving away. So if you would be interested in getting a free app, go to barbaradelong.com and join the circle, or go to, join the circle. And there's a place there where you can say, please, I'd like to have a free app for my phone. And we just have gotten the first 2 free apps sent out today. And we'd be happy to send out free apps for your phone if you're interested in having one. You do need to join my circle, but you don't have to pay anything. It just keeps you posted on everything, actually. Okay. Commercial over for now.
All right.
Well, I forgot. It's kind of like I get into this stuff and I keep forgetting that, there are things that I'm supposed to be putting out there that I keep forgetting. So par for the course. Okay, so you're at a place where you've reached a level. I think it's really cool. This is a time in your life where you've got a new foundation you're working from. There's a greater stability within you. You have a greater confidence. You have a greater knowledge of who you are and where you want to go and how you want to get there. It's really a profound feeling of security here. And it feels as though you really have touched into an understanding as to the purpose of this lifetime to a degree. None of us ever know exactly 100% why we're here. We have inklings, we think we know, but until we pass over, we won't know. And then it won't matter anymore because we're on to the next one. This wonderful foundation that you've got here that you're working from now is really quite profound. And it does feel as though it's a new level of understanding of yourself, of your work, your purpose within this lifetime. And it's a very exciting time for you. When people are in this kind of a position, it's frustrating because you can't talk to anybody about it because nobody is going to understand you, except you just know I'm ready and I'm moving into a new direction. And I can't put a figure on how I can explain it. I just know. And you've got here, as we're into, the month of July, the element of a guardian angel, the element of spiritual energy here for you, so that you have spiritual energy working with you, helping you to move in new directions. and giving you greater insight into your purpose and your direction and why you're here. And again, we don't always know everything, but at least at this point in time, you understand that there is this wonderful light within you, and it's wisdom and it's knowledge. And there's a sense here of needing to share and to put it out there in some way, shape, or form. There is a sense here of writing and poetry and magic. And as you get into the August timeframe, it does feel as though there's a sense here of publication, of putting your thoughts and your philosophies out there. Everybody's doing it. It's not that hard, and all it takes is time and energy. And I do feel that you are a natural channel, so that the ability to pull wonderful spiritual energy through you and share it with other people is very profound. As you get into September, there's a sense here of pregnancy. And while it doesn't always mean physical pregnancy, it could mean that too. So, don't panic, but depending on your age and your position and all of that stuff, that pregnancy is here. But at the same time, it can be a creative pregnancy. It can be finding a new way to live your life, to move in new directions. It's creating a new you. It can be a lot of wonderful different ways of pregnancy. But in this case, I tend to say it could either be you or someone close to you that there is pregnancy in September. As you move into October, there's the sense here of abundance flowing to you, of new thoughts and new directions and new ways of using the talents and the skills that you have within you. A lot of communication and spiritual energy here, as though you're spending a great deal of time talking and sharing with other people about spiritual aspects of life as we know it. As you get into the November timeframe, you have free will, you have freedom to move in new directions. And it does feel here as though, professionally speaking, you're moving into a new area or element of yourself. It does feel as though there is a new level or step professionally that is definitely available to you. It's not so much that you're changing jobs as though there's a new level, a new direction, a new aspect of life that you're getting into. December has, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of going back over Christmases past, holidays past. Doesn't have to be Christmas, holidays past. And it does feel as though there's a great deal of reflection. I feel you going through a lot of old pictures, as though you're cataloging them or just going through and remembering holidays from the past. It's not a time of sadness, but it is a time of reflection. And it's a deep reflection, as though this is a very special Christmas for you in some ways. I want you to, as you're going through old pictures and stuff, remember the happiness and the joy. Remember the laughter and the celebration. I'm not saying that this year is not going to be that, because it is, but this is a time where you're sharing a lot of the stuff from the past. It's a time of bringing the past into the present, sharing it and celebrating it. It's a really, really special time for you. Lots of pictures, lots of photograph albums, lots of photographs gathered together. Looks very interesting. And by the way, if you're leafing through photographs, it's time to make them digital. As you get into the January timeframe, there's healing energy here. It feels as though there's the aspect of healing and growing and moving in new directions. And do understand that as people grow, as relationships grow, as partnerships grow, it's always a stretch and sometimes painful, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means growing pains are growing pains. So if there is a partner or a relationship where there is some some growing pains with, hang in there, because it does feel as though there's a very special relationship here. Whether it is a professional one or a personal one, I don't know. But it does feel as though there's a partnership here in which there is growth, and there's definitely spiritual connection. There's definitely creative connection, and there's a healing process here. And it does feel as though there's a process going on that is bringing you into a new level of relationship. As you get into the February timeframe, there's a new balance in life here. It feels as though you have definitely struck a balance within yourself that's very, very important. You're no longer juggling between 2 or 3 different areas. You seem to have found a balance, and everything feels very smooth, as though it's running smoothly. These moments don't happen often, so cherish it, because that's March. By the time you get to April, there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming in. There's the element here of new friends coming in here, of new people coming into your life. The spiritual energy here is quite profound. So it does feel to me between February and March, there is a stretch in understanding of the spiritual energies, how they work within your life, how they apply to you, and how you can use them to find greater abundance within your life. As you move into the April timeframe, April, it does feel as though the focus is on the home, and it feels as though there may be the element of possibly moving or massive changes within the home you're in now. It does feel as though there's a sense here of looking, that's kind of interesting, of looking for new creative ways to enhance everything that surrounds you. So you may go through massive changes, not only within your physical home, decluttering, getting rid of stuff, but it also feels as though here's where you begin to remake yourself, whether it's changing clothing or hairstyle or things that give you pleasure. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it does have a lot of people around you, a lot of new activity, and you're kind of becoming a new person, and that's appropriate. Almost every 10 years, I have massively reinvented myself, because it just happened that way. Now I can look back over a lot of 10-year time frames, and I can see where the times it was about every 10 years. Everybody has a different number of years, and through which they come to a place where they have to reinvent themselves. And this feels like it's a year for you. And it does feel as though as you get into the May timeframe, here's where home is. You may be moving. There may be a new home here, or your house is in order. And now, but see, if your house is in order, that's going to frustrate you. You're going to have to make changes. So there's movement here. There's change here, and it feels as though when you get into the June timeframe, there definitely are new directions you're going. I feel that there's travel that's going to be coming here. Short-term travel in the month of June next year, preferably staying within the United States, please. That's what the card said, not me. Okay, thank you. Okie doke, Greg.
All right, that was great. So Free to Be Me made a couple of feedback comments. Said, wow, you picked up on all the plants and the garden I have. Yes, I do have a large tree in my backyard, and yes, I have hugged it in the past and often placed my hands on it to ground myself. And then I haven't located the fairy rings yet, but I feel a lot of interesting energy in my home and property. Thank you so much for the very accurate reading. That's awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, that's great. Next up is Ellen R. I got to go all the way back up here to find her. So many comments. She said, hello, Barbara and Greg. Please, reading, please. General, if that's okay.
General's fine. I just can't deal them fast enough, but actually when I put a circle down for a general reading, on the, when we do this, I do one ring. If it's a private reading, there are 3 rings so that there's greater depth. I mean, you're getting a real fast run around the ear here. Okay, very cool. There's an element of new commitment here, as though there's a newness inside of you. I feel the element of commitment is really, really important to you, and commitment to direction, commitment to self, commitment to others, commitment to jobs, commitment to directions. There's commitment is very, very important to you, and it does feel as though what you're doing is coming into a new understanding of yourself, who you are, and the magic that you carry inside of you. I would say that there's a wonderful creative nature here, and it has to do with not only with speaking your mind, but putting your creative energy out there in all sorts of different ways. And you're an incredibly gifted and talented person creatively. And by that, I don't mean that you necessarily have to be a professional anything creatively, but if you take great joy in creating, no matter what you're doing, then that would fulfill what I'm seeing here. I feel that unless you're being creative, you feel stuck. And that's what most people feel, but you're the one that you notice it. You notice that I'm stuck, that things aren't moving, and how am I going to get movement here, because it's so important. And it's almost as though you've put aside a lot of creative stuff that you really have done in the past, but you have a ton of stuff you've started and you haven't finished. You've got it in closets, and you've got it under beds, you've got it all over the place. But a good idea to start finishing stuff. If you're not going to finish it, give it away to someone else who will finish it, because you tend to start things and not finish them. And from now on, this year, it feels as though it's a time where you're going to start actually completing things that you started. I would say that your house is really something that your home doesn't have to be a house, but your home is very important to you. And it is time to declutter it. You've been saying you're going to do it for a long time, and you just haven't done it, especially your closet. But I can't beat you up on that. I haven't done mine either. But the element of organization is here, and it's really you've committed yourself to making changes, and the universe is going to hold you to them. And so as you get into the August timeframe, here's where I see you. Going back to the books. This is, I always see books when I see this card, and it does feel as though you have books all around you. Good idea to read them rather than just collect them. But you have great intentions. It's just that you seem to be a little bit slow on following through. But what I'm seeing here is in the month of August, there's the element of starting to fulfill all the promises you've made to yourself, and you've made a lot of them. This feels as though it's a great time for you to look at a lot of the books that you've got, because in many ways you've been acquiring an amazing library that if you just read through it, you'd be amazed at the things that you learn. As you get into the September timeframe, there are choices coming up for you to go in new directions, to make plans to. There's a lot of traveling. You've got a spirit that travels here. It feels as though in September that there are plans being made for trips, almost as though you're sitting down and planning different places that you want to journey to explore. Some of them are out of the country, depending on the political whatevers that are going on. Be careful where you go. you're the kind of person that's going to go no matter what, but I would stay out of the hot spots if I were you. There is this element here of flowing. Feels like there's a cruise here too. It just popped in. I don't know where it came from, but it feels as though there are plans for a cruise, and I think you will do that. As you get into the October time frame, there's the element of your creativity, your healing energies flowing together and bringing you into new aspects of yourself that you didn't even know were there. You have gifts and talents you haven't even tried out yet. And it's really very exciting. As you get into the month of November, I feel that you're going to overwhelm yourself with commitments and things that you want to do. But so long as you handle your time well, you're going to be able to complete everything. This is that card. Take your vitamins. I do feel November is a very busy time for you. I feel that professionally speaking, it's exceedingly busy, and it's going to bring you to new levels of understanding of the directions that you want to take yourself in, professionally speaking. December has magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected. It's going to be a month in which there are great changes in your life, all of them positive, all of them good. It's just that you hadn't been prepared for some of them. And they're going to come out of right field, and they're going to be very exciting because they're going to allow you to move into greater understanding of the gifts you carry within and the purpose of this lifetime, which everybody struggles with, and you're going to catch hints of what's going on as you hit the January timeframe. There's understanding of here you're finding understanding, and you're getting information about things that have bothered you that you've not understood about the past. And January is a time when almost all your questions about the past have in some way, shape, or form brought forth an answer that satisfies you. Some of the information that's coming in during that time frame will be about relationships. Some will be about professions. Some will be about family. And all of it's a matter of not so much the truth coming out, but you finally understanding the meaning behind some of the stuff that's been going on. There's a new balance in your life as you come into the February timeframe, and it feels as though you're moving forward, letting go of a lot of things that you've been carrying that you didn't need to carry. Lots of us hold stuff inside of ourselves instead of letting go of it, thinking we can make changes or we can find greater understanding. But after the January timeframe, you're not holding on to any of this stuff, so that you have a new balance within your life. You're moving forward in new directions, and it's almost as though you're seeing new directions as far as there's a strong possibility of Europe here. I don't know if it's planned that you go there in the February, March timeframe, or if that's when you're making plans. But you're going to go on. You're going to go overseas as you hit the March timeframe. You have the law of karma here, and that's a cool card, because you're going to find that you are being gifted by people that you don't even know. They're going to be doing nice things for you, opening doors for you, and it's a reflection of past lifetimes where you've given to them that they're giving to you this lifetime. And it's going to be a month in which you are gifted by the universe here. It's really quite spectacular. Be a good idea to keep a journal of all of this. As you get into the April timeframe, there's a new flow of continuity. You're beginning to find lots of things in your life that seem to be very, not connected at all. You're beginning to understand the connections that things have, and there's a great peace of mind here. It's almost as though you feel as though, it's really funny. It feels as though as you hit the April timeframe, there is a sense of peace that you get inside of yourself that is really quite profound. And as you hit the May timeframe, here's where home takes on a new light. There, I smell a lot of plasterboard and sawdust. It feels as though wherever you're living is going through renovations of some sort. Not that it's been destroyed by nature or anything like that, but it's an expansion. It's an adding on. It's an expansion. It's creating a newness in the environment that you're living in. And as you hit June, there's a new you. It feels as though there's a lightness of spirit. You've embraced a greater sense of self, and because of that, you bring the light through far more greatly than ever before, and opens you up to new beginnings on all levels of your life. It's going to be quite profound. You're going to also find that if and when you do go to Europe, there will be a lot of deja vus. It will feel as though you've been there before, and you do have past lives over there for sure. Most of us do. There's the other thing that is here, and it's here profoundly. So it's something that you might want to look into. You have had many lifetimes in which you were a Knights Templar. So you may want to do some investigation into the Knights Templar just to see if, as you awaken that memory within yourself, that you may bring forth some very interesting material that could help archaeologists today. Okay, Gregg.
Okay. Well, Lynn gave us some feedback. It's a wonderful reading. I have had a reading from you in 2011. You told me I'd be an author. I am writing full time now and have been for a long time. It's amazing that you mentioned that again. I have been told I'm channeling, so you are spot on. I like to think I have an idea of why I'm here, but it's hard to pin down. Thank you. More amazing feedback. All right. Next up, we have another person here for the first time. We have a few people here for the first time. It's so cool to see new people popping up.
Yes.
In fact, she says, popping in here for the first time. And I can see how beautiful the energy is here on the show. I would love a reading for whatever Spirit has to say if there's time. Much love to you, Barbara and Gregg.
Cool. Well, the wonderful feeling comes from all of the people that are sitting there patiently waiting. Gregg and I can only take credit for a little bit of it. So thank you, but thank everybody here too. I mean, that's what creates the feeling that is so cool. Okay, so this is Emma. Okay, Emma. Wow. This is a great time for you. This is a great time in life for you. No matter what your age, you have new foundations that you're working from. It's almost as though you have let go a cloak of responsibility that you have been wearing for a very long time, and now you are beginning to be able to work on and for yourself to a greater extent. I would say that the foundation you've got is magnificent. You've put a great deal of work into preparing yourself to come into a new level of self, and that's what you've got now. The foundation is definitely there. I would say you have body, mind, spirit in a beautiful balance, and it does feel as though there is a sense of new beginnings and fresh starts here. There's the element, not that you're going to, please don't run off and join the circus, but although you could, but I don't think no, that's not where you're going. But it's a matter of there is freedom here that hasn't been here for the last decade or so. And it does feel as though, because you have body, mind, spirit finally in sync with one another, working in concert together and allowing you to flow more beautifully forward as you hit the month of August, you've got the spotlight falling on you as though people are seeing you for the made changes in yourself, as though you've gone through a transformation process, and people are beginning to see you and notice you, and there is a spotlight on you, as though people are now beginning to pay attention far more than ever before to listening to the wisdom that you carry within. You're one of those wise people that people don't listen to until they're older, and happily, the older you get, the more people listen because they figure you have to know more. It's not true in everybody's case. But what you've got here is the spotlight falling on you, as though people are beginning to take note as to the value and the worth and the wisdom that you have to share. As you get into September, there's a sense here of having a direction, a singular direction you're working in. I feel that you've got a lot of creative talents inside of you. Lots of times we have these wonderful gifts inside of us we're afraid to share, and it feels like you've been afraid to kind of put your foot out there. I would definitely start putting your foot out there. I would say, and I've said it before a number of times, it's one of the things I say to almost everybody. A journal is a good idea because you have thoughts, you have wisdoms, you have poetry inside of you that if you write down, sooner or later, you'll realize that you have something to share, and it's really quite massive. As you move into the October timeframe, there is a sense here of letting people know who you are. I have a feeling that you've kind of stood in the shadows for a long time. You're going to clear your throat and make your voice known. And as you do that in the month of October, and not obnoxiously, just sharing things quietly with people that you've kept to yourself. You are an extraordinarily wise person, and you hold it in because you're afraid people won't understand you or where you come from. But as you hit the November timeframe, you've got spiritual energy around you coming through you. You have the aspect of great wisdom that comes through time. You have a guardian angel energy around you, and if you are one that believes in guardian angels, makes it easier. This energy is there for you. It absolutely is around you. It is protective of you, and as you flow into the December timeframe, you've got the golden rule here. So what you send out returns to you greatly magnified. December is a time when it's time for you to reach out to a lot of people you've lost touch with, and I would say it's important that you reconnect yourself with a lot of people that you've lost touch with, but not on the computer. Do it by putting pen to paper and writing or typing, but not on the computer, because what you send on the computer easily gets deleted, easily gets let go of, easily is lost in emails and stuff. But if you write a letter, people treasure them. They go back and read them again and again. When my grandmother passed away and when my mother passed away, they each had a box. And in the boxes, small boxes, and in the boxes were letters that I had written when I was a child, or my sister had written when they were, and my son had, written to dear grandma or great grandma. Those things are saved. They're memories that people go back and read over and over and over and over again. So everybody is very technology oriented today, and the post office isn't always reliable, but mailing letters to people so that they catch them up, ask them what's going on with their life, reconnect with people, because December is a time to reconnect and renew. And as you get into the January timeframe, and this goes for everybody, by the way, But as you get into the January timeframe, there is a sense here of working very hard. It feels as though you are pushing yourself a lot harder than you have in the past. It feels as though you have a lot of things on your table, on your checklist, whichever way you want to look at it. And it does feel as though you are busier than you ever believed possible. As you move into February, you're finding that you have compensation coming into you that you had not anticipated, that is really kind of cool. And it's not a tax return. I mean, you may get a tax return, but I'm not seeing this compensation I'm seeing coming your way as a tax return. It's more than financial, though. It's people too. It's people reconnecting with you. It's you finding that there are new people in your life, but a lot of the old people are coming back in too, possibly from letters that you sent. And as you hit the March timeframe, there's laughter, joy, and celebration. There's some sort of party here or a renewal of some sort. Not sure which it is, but there is definitely a celebration, at least one, if not two. And there may well be a wedding here. All I know is March is a time when you are going to laugh a lot more than you ever expected, and there is great joy connected with it. There may well be a birth of a baby here too. Not necessarily yours, but could be. Well, depending on you. As you head into April timeframe, there is this energy here of you understanding to a greater degree the purpose of the lifetime, not only to just slog through, I don't know, a decade or a generation of time and then pass over and go into the next life. There you begin to understand the meaning of this lifetime and the purpose of this lifetime and the spiritual meaning between all of the connections you have with the people around you, and appreciating them for the gifts that they're giving you and enabling you to grow and to move into new dimensions of understanding of your spirit and the purpose of this lifetime and the directions that you're going. As you hit the May timeframe, you have you're beginning to set things in motion, because now you have, it's kind of like, finally got it. I understand how this works. I'm going to work with it now. And it's almost as though you're setting things up so that you're getting your ducks in order, so to speak, so that there is a movement of energy and flow for the year after this one to come, where you've already set things up, about when things are due to happen, and you're moving towards new goals that you're setting for yourself. Excuse me. June has spiritual energy here blossoming like crazy. So there's this element here of, it's not, I don't want to call it a religious feeling, it's a spiritual feeling. And you may get it from a church, or you may get it from nature, but June is a time where spirit becomes more and more present in your life, and something you talk about. I talk about spirit all the time in the universe, but then I've been in this field for a gazillion years. But I do believe as you come into the June timeframe next year, your plans for the future have a more spiritual flow to them, and a richer feeling of love and acceptance and guidance coming from the universe. You're going through a threshold of some sort, and it really is a very profound one and very exciting. Okay, there you go.
All right, very good.
I think wait, before you do that, I should mention to people that this will be going up on YouTube. So if you didn't take notes and you're wondering if you're remembering everything that I said, you can go back and listen to it again on YouTube, so that I know I talk fast and I say a lot. So, well, I think I say a lot.
You definitely do, and will be up for a re-listening for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so Ellen gave us a little feedback. She said, "Wow, what a wonderful reading. I took notes and hope to get back to you in the next few months and tell you how right you were." So thank you for sharing your talents. Yeah. And
Very cool.
let's see, we have next up. I have to now go back, so give me a moment to find just Bellini. Actually, this is the first one, and then she came back in because she realized that she didn't put it in caps. So then she went in caps. Anything from Spirit for me. I love your readings.
Oh, wow. I do too, actually. And I appreciate the feedback. You know, when you do shows like this, you sometimes never know if you've hit it on the head or if they're wondering who you're talking about. Okay. Just Bellini. Okay. You have a year ahead of you that is going to be probably one of the most profound in your life, and it starts with July. You have the miracle card in the center, and that means miracles will be touching into every aspect of every month for the next year. And the miracles come from you. It's because you're utilizing the spiritual gifts and talents that you have inside of you and applying them to everything that happens to you as you go along and as you go through the next 12 months. It's being spiritual is very different from being religious. Being religious is practicing a religion that you have the guidelines for. Being spiritual is living the spirit that you have within you and applying it to every aspect of every day, of every minute within that day. It's a joyful experience, and we don't often apply it all the time to everything, you know, where we go and where we are. However, once you understand that spirit is constantly there, it isn't there just once or twice. It isn't there when you are asking for it. It's always there. And it's what I'm seeing here is that you have miracles happening right, left, and up and down in every aspect of the cards that I've thrown. For this particular month, there is the element here of a new awareness, of a new dawning, of a new opening, of a portal between consciousness and higher consciousness. You have crossed that bridge so that you understand that spirit will talk to you. I mean, it doesn't always say, hi, how are you doing? But it gives you messages. It gives you insight. It gives you synchronicities and coincidences to let you know that spiritual energy is flowing through you and is there for you to utilize. As you come into the middle to end of this month, you're going to find that you're going to be recognizing these places where spirit has had impact on your life, where something very lucky has happened, or something very wonderful has happened, or something very new has come into your life that enriches you greatly. It's a magnificently wonderful month. And as you hit the August time frame, there is the sense here too of utilizing the talents and the gifts that you have within you, whether it's intuition, whether it's inspiration, whether it's of a creative nature, whether it's something very, very, very new to you and yet old to other people. There's music here, but there's freedom of expression. And I feel strongly that you should be writing in a journal. You should be writing things down. You should be letting at least the universe know that you're paying attention to what it's sending you, because it's channeling to you such beautiful, beautiful, magical words that can help to enlighten not only you, but other people as well if you share them. As you hit the September timeframe, there's a sense here of letting go of issues that no longer have relevance to your life. My sister, I'm 81, she's 77, 8, in there someplace. And at one point we did a ceremony, and at one point we were forgiving each other for our slights here and there. And I knew we had gone too far when she forgave me for cutting her pigtail off when she was 4 years old. I'm seeing you, not going back quite that far, but it's a sense here of letting go of things that no longer have relevance. It's silly to waste your time on, and they weight you down. They give you a heavy feeling. And it does feel as though what you're going through in September is just letting go of garbage that no longer has any meaning. As you hit the October timeframe, there's a new commitment for you to new directions, to open yourself up to some of the gifts and talents you carry within. You're so quiet about all of the gifts and talents you have, and it's quite amazing. And the more you use them, the better they get. All of you guys that let me do these readings are helping me to hone my talents. And I'm learning with every reading I do. I learn there's always something spectacular in there that I say to myself mentally, write that down and remember it. Of course I don't, but I say it, so at least I'm working on it. There is a sense here of committing yourself to new directions, of working with a lot of the gifts and talents you carry within. We're born when the spirit enters our body as an infant, as a unborn baby. It brings with it a full complement of talents and gifts. Just it's all there, and it's kind of like, when you buy a car, you can have extras that you can add on for extra payment. But when the human spirit is awakened by the spirit entering the body, the gifts and talents are all there, but we aren't given the owner's manual. So we have to recognize what a talent is and go for it and look for it and find it. And it does feel to me here, as you hit the November timeframe, that you are finding and utilizing and practicing and working with some of the gifts and talents that you have that you didn't recognize that you had, but you do. There's also a sense here of you're going to be finding that you have dreams that are of past lives. There are a lot of past lives that you seem to be dealing with that bring gifts and talents forward that you can use this lifetime, reminding you of gifts and talents that you have. There's the element of the law of karma is here, so that past lifetimes are coming up and reminding you of a richness that you have developed in the past and is definitely there for you to utilize. There's nothing bad coming at you. It's all good. It's all very positive. And so as gifts flow to you, as you recognize that things are a lot easier for you to do than other people, please be cognizant and thankful to the spirit within that is aiming all this stuff at you. As you hit December, here's Phoenix rising energy here. And I love Phoenix rising energy. It's a reborn out of the ashes of the old, which means that you're letting go of all old concepts and things that no longer serve you. And you're allowing yourself to be rebirthed into a more spiritual focus of life. That doesn't mean that you become a fanatic. It just means that you have a spiritual aspect that you're drawing on, that you're utilizing, that you're applying to life as you know it. And it's a very exciting time. As you get into the January timeframe, there's travel here, there's work here. It feels as though you're working harder than you ever have before, and you're beginning to see results that bring people into your reality that you had not ever anticipated you would meet. You're going to be meeting a lot of new people, and these new people are going to open doors for you into new directions that may well have a change of you professionally to a certain degree. As you hit February, here's where your intuition seems to really wake up, and you begin to be able to get flashes of insight about things that are going on in the world, in your world, but in the world as a whole. You're not going to be turning into a great sage yet, but it does feel as though your ability to intuit answers to questions is very great, and you're going to trust it. You're going to flow with it. You're not going to just sit back and say, nah, that can't possibly be true. You're going to flow with trusting these synchronicities and coincidences that are coming into your life. You don't do it wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't go wacko with it, but do pay closer attention to the messages that you're getting, because they're very profound. As you hit March, there's a sense here of 2 new people coming into your life. They look like they have, how do I put this? They have multiple functions in coming into your life. That of a teacher, that of a partner, that of a wise sage, so that you have new people coming in. And I wouldn't hop in, I'd let things evolve slowly so that you know which is which. And some of them will have many different levels that they touch and they bring into your reality. As you hit April, you're crossing a threshold of understanding of this, other dimensions, other realities, other purposes this lifetime. We don't come in with just one purpose. We have a list. And it feels to me as though you are seeing more clearly the directions that you're flowing in. And what's really fascinating is that April and May, I have to combine because one is the threshold card, one is the crown chakra card. It gives you the ability not only to understand changes as they are coming, but what is coming for the totality of humanity as a species. And as you get into the May timeframe, there's a sense here of your third eye really, really opening up, and your connection to the spirit within coming more profoundly there for you, so that channeling, writing, opening yourself up to information from the spirit is far more available to you. And as you hit the June timeframe, there's new people again coming into your life. So you're picking up a lot of new people, and a lot of these new people, I would say most of them have the element of a spiritual connection on one level or another, but understand that spiritual connections are not the only ones, and that sometimes, people are there for a season, a reason, a lifetime, as the poem goes. So make sure that when you are connecting with people, that you are pretty sure that they are a lifetime type of commitment, as opposed to just a reason or a season. And it takes time to determine that. So give everybody time, and you'll find that you'll come out far richer in the long run. Okay. Hope that helps.
All right. Yes. Well, I have to bring up some feedback from Emma. She gave us quite a bit. Wow. Thank you so much, Barbara. How spot on everything is. I am a professional dancer, and I've spent much time in the shadows. Goes on saying, I'm so excited to see how things blossom, and I will start drafting those letters. Thank you from my soul to yours and to everyone watching. Together we build such a force of love in this world. And lastly, she said, I also have a guardian angel I communicate with and turn to. I'm so glad they said hi tonight in this reading.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Cool.
All right. Next up, we have Talon Chappelle. And this is actually the second message. The first one, let's see if I can go back and find it. So first said, hello, I'm new here and would love a reading.
Okay.
And now let me bring back up the second message, where he got a little more specific. I'd like to ask specifically about my sports injury and work, if possible, tonight.
Okay. Okay, here's a case that I'm curious, but I'm not going to ask. Okay. There is, when we come into a lifetime, we definitely are are aimed in directions of a spiritual nature. And sometimes we get so locked into aspects of life that the mission, if you will, can't be reconciled because we're so focused on other things that we just won't break away and allow things to flow the way they're supposed to. I feel strongly that the injury that you got was to draw your attention to other aspects of life. You had made your mind up to go in a specific direction that may not be possible at this point in time. However, I would say that you are at a point in time here where just focusing on healing the sports injury is not as important as allowing yourself to embrace the spiritual direction that you have. Now, I know this is a guy, pretty sure. And so what I'm seeing here is while I don't want you to let go of the sport, and my feeling is that you'll be working on healing the injury for a long time, and I do feel the injury will be healed. But at the same time, there are other directions that your life needs to have focus on that you're not focusing on. So the element of, okay, not knowing exactly, and I don't want to know what the injury is. I encourage you to look into and experience Tai Chi, to look in and experience Tai Chi, especially meditation of some sort. And by utilizing the meditation involved with the Tai Chi, your injury will heal faster, and at the same time will give you a more spiritual idea as to where life possibly will take you. But don't just focus on that. Understand that you were stopped because there's more for you to do this life than your sports injury. The sports injury, it stopped you from being singularly tunnel focused in one direction. By having the injury, it enables you to reach into other aspects and develop other areas of your life. Tai Chi will do that. Tai Chi is slow moving, and I don't want you doing judo or anything like that. I want you to do slow movement that moves energy through your body. By doing slow energy and moving energy through your body, it helps your body to heal. And not in just one area, but in all areas. The other thing I would suggest is a magnetic bracelet. You want to get a magnetic bracelet that has little magnets in it that are 5,000 Gauss. And the only place I've ever seen that is in a place called, and I just happen to have the card here. It's called, it would be Litones, LITONES.net. And the reason I'm suggesting a magnetic bracelet is that the magnets will magnetize the blood as it goes through your veins to a north-south orientation. It speeds it helps to speed the flow of blood through your system and will help to diminish swelling. So what I'm seeing here is that having the injury is important to slow you down, to give you focus in other directions as well. try the Tai Chi if you can only do it in a chair or whatever, but do find a good Tai Chi teacher to help you work, because that will help you heal. And once you've healed, the meditation that goes with the Tai Chi will help to expand you into a greater spiritual awareness of the directions that you're supposed to be taking, along with whatever you're doing with your athleticism. It does feel here as though as you move more into the July timeframe, that there's a sense here of healing energy and creative energy here. So ergo the Tai Chi. And as I see, as you move into the August timeframe, I feel you working very hard here on new directions, but it does feel you're working on more than one thing. Tunnel focus will not get you healed to the extent that you want. This has been a gift to you to open you up to other modalities that will give you a greater richness in your practice, among other things. A good book to read would be, The Yielding Warrior, Mark. I'm so used to Mark being around.
Right, yeah. John, his name, I have the book right here. Jeff Patterson.
Jeff Patterson, Yielding Warrior, Jeff Patterson. Pick up that book. It's a good book. It will help you because it feels to me as though you're so singularly focused, you're forgetting everything else, and you're not addressing the other important things in life. As you go into the August timeframe, I see you working, and it does feel as you go into the August-September timeframe, the spiritual is there, that you're working on both aspects, and that allows you to spread your wings and go in all directions as well as healing. But this injury was a blessing to you, because it's pulling you back and allowing you to refocus and hit more directions than you would have otherwise. September is a time frame where there is more spiritual energy flowing, and as you get into October, there's a sense here of new energy flowing through you to a different frequency, which enables you to heal. As you get into the November timeframe, new foundations, new areas, I do feel that by the January timeframe, you are moving into a new understanding of new directions, that you are opening yourself up to new elements within yourself. And it does feel as though you're stretching your wings, you're reaching in new directions, you're allowing yourself to access the other gifts and talents that you have inside of you that will enable you to actually flow with greater direction and greater power. January has you evolving into a new understanding, a new direction of self. And as you hit the February timeframe, there's compensation coming in here. So I feel that your money problems are going to ease up to a great degree. And as you get into the March timeframe, here's where you're birthing a new aspect of yourself. Here's where a greater roundedness, a greater balanced self is moving forward with new energy and certainly greater power. And I mean, this injury was a blessing for you, for sure. As you hit April, there's spotlight falling on you, new directions, moving in new directions. And as you hit May, here's where legal papers of some sort are signed. There are legalities taken care of that and do understand. I don't feel you're being sued. When I say legal papers, it can be anything from the warranty of a new toaster to a new car to something even greater. But it's just legal papers, and they have a very positive feel to them. So don't panic. It's a good thing. And then as you hit the June timeframe, there's a whole new you here. There's a more secure, more mature, stronger, healthier person than you are right now. I hope that helps. Okay, I think we did it, Gregg.
Yeah, well, we still have people on the list, but we're at 2 hours, so I don't know if you want to keep going or
I think 2 hours is enough.
2 hours is a long time. I know.
But we will be back in 2 weeks. So those of you that we haven't hit, call in early. What's the date? It's 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it is 2 weeks from today, and it is the 24th,
We'll be back.
Thursday, July 24th.
We will be back on the 24th. Bring your friends and come early because the line does get long.
It's a busy night tonight.
Very, very, very. So thank you all for listening. Thank you, Gregg, for being so very good at doing what you're doing. Good night, everybody.